What is happening, guys? Martin Martinez back again. Hola a todos, estoy aquí de nuevo. Let's get into it, guys. Now, again, unfortunately, this is part of the reason why I said I'm sort of getting pissed off with doing these reviews. And it sort of feels like now, guys, it's getting ruined. I have to say, after smelling these two fragrances, it didn't make sense to purchase any of them. In my opinion, this is two of the worst releases ever from Zara. It's to the point now, guys, where it's just like, what's the point? I mean, I've got two. I mean, I tried putting it on the card, put it that way. So I was in the Zara store, guys, and tried putting them onto a card. You can see the card there from Zara that you pick up in the store. And it's the point now, guys, where I can tell the difference because I can smell it, focusing to smell it. But again, guys, I'm just going to give it a breakdown because this is where the bullshit is happening. For him, the original version, guys, this is the original version. You can see, again, the cost of this one, guys, is $17.99, and this is what's in the UK, and this is 100 ml. Now, the version I've purchased for this, again, has been 150 ml. For some reason, they took that one off the shelf, and they've kept it now with 100 ml. The bottles change, the atomizers change slightly, but the fragrance is still somewhat the same. I don't know if it's projecting in the same way. I'm going to do a comparison of the old version that I have and the newest version in the new bottle. Probably the same juice, but what the hell, I'll let you guys know. But effectively, guys, the version now from For Him Sport 100 ml, which again is similar to this version, but it's a sport version. So in my mind, I was thinking maybe we've got a bit of a Dolce & Gabbana grey version going on here, where they've tried to reduce the like the sweetness that you get from it and give you maybe just a raw grapefruit sort of smell as like a watered down version. That's what I thought. But to me, guys, upon smelling this, I mean, it's ridiculous. To me, guys, it's, I mean, I don't even know whether we could call this a review or not. Basically, guys, I mean, this is the note breakdown for Him Sport, okay? And that's just similar to this version, which is grapefruit, ginger, and sandalwood. Now, the Blue Sport edition, and again, is slightly different. I've just done a review of it on the previous video. But this one, guys, is, and again, these are my first impressions anyway. But this one is an EDT, and it's saying the Sport version, Blue Sport, is a grapefruit, vetiver, and green notes. Now, for me, guys, realistically, what's happening now with this, when I smell these on my skin, guys, within literally, I mean, I don't know, in my opinion, anyone who's not trained or anyone who's not got a special sort of awareness of fragrances, you won't be able to tell the difference. The reason being because you get this blast of alcohol, and it's really to the point where, in my opinion, these are the worst ever that I've smelled. Some of the worst ever nonsense fragrances that have ever come from the house of Zara. So I don't know what's going on in that respect, but to me, guys, you get this blast of alcohol. Yes, maybe in the blue version, it's saying the note here's grapefruit, vetiver, and green notes. Maybe you get some of that vetiver, but this is in the store, so I can smell this vetiver slightly here. I don't really get any real grapefruit now, and I definitely don't get any green notes. While for this one, I get a slight touch. If you imagine, like, again, it's like Dolce & Gabbana the one, and you've got the grey version with a slight nuance of that previous type of scent is slightly hitting the For Him Sport, which is, again, it's in a like a grey version of this one, which is in a brown bottle. It's like it's faintly there, but the problem that you're facing, guys, I mean, to me, it's like you've not even got the core essence of what that fragrance is anymore, and it just smells like nothing at all. So I've sprayed this, guys, within probably less than even 10-15 minutes of walking out in the shop. I can't smell them at all, and I can't even tell the difference. I can smell them, but I cannot tell the difference. And to me, guys, it is a waste of time to bring out these fragrances. So I hope someone can enlighten me. I don't necessarily know. Maybe in the house of Zara, what's going on now in the perfumery side of things, somebody's been told, look, we've got this amount of budget, we're going to do these bottles, you need to get the fragrance into these bottles within a certain time frame and also at a certain price for it to be profitable for us. It is a business, guys. They're not necessarily doing anything for me or you. It's not necessarily a scenario where they want necessarily to put out something and be doing it at a loss. They don't need to do that. The owner from Spain understand he's one of the richest people in Spain and he's doing what he needs to do. So they make their money. That's not a problem. People will pick up these fragrances for people who don't necessarily know anything better, in the sense of, not to insult anyone's intelligence, but maybe you're getting some clothes, you smell it in the store thinking, wow, okay, this smells okay, and go from there. But from my perspective, and most of you guys out there, I really doubt you're going to be purchasing this particular, these two that have come out, and that's For Him Sport, and then you've got For Him Blue Sport. And to me, guys, when I looked at these bottles, I thought, wow, the bottles are improving. These are like, maybe we're getting down the sort of realms of, I say, like Dolce & Gabbana One. We're getting down the realms of Bleu de Chanel sort of thing going on. Some things could be changing, but realistically, whoever's been told to do this, I think they've been restricted, because when you get such a blast of alcohol in a fragrance, to me, it suggests it's probably a cheap fragrance. Most fragrances, I mean, just picking up what I've got to hand now. So if I pick this one up here, I mean, people call this dated. This is Jean Paul, but to me, guys, you know, I don't get that blast of alcohol smell. I don't get that alcoholic smell that just overpowers it. And I think what's happening when they're making a composition of these fragrances, that alcohol is there to maybe, I don't know, cut down some of the actual scent itself. I mean, I don't know all the science behind it, but to me, when it's so alcoholic in the opening, so to me smells like really cheap cologne. It's a really cheap fragrance. There's fragrances that Zara bring out when it comes to maybe Seoul, or they bring out maybe the Chicago, or whatever it may be, San Francisco, where you don't necessarily, you get an element of the alcoholic smell, but you don't necessarily get something to such an extent you think, wow, is this what I'm just paid money for? And I personally can't see any justification in charging $15.99 for this, which I say is actually cheaper, guys, than the original version. So I think that says something as well. This is the original version, it's $17.99. Why is this $17.99, but you're bringing out a new fragrance, which is also 100 ml, which is probably watered down, and that's $15.99. I don't know the pricing strategy behind that. So hopefully one of you guys can enlighten to me. But for some reason, guys, for some reason, this seems to be, in my opinion, someone's just been told, we've got summer coming up, you know how it goes, let's get these out in the stores and let's do our thing, make our money, and then we take them off the shelves. And again, it's the same bullshit with this, what's it called? Vibrant Leather Cologne, which again I mentioned, cologne just means it's going to be slightly fresher. They could have done so much with that one, but yet again, guys, it was a big letdown, and basically it was Paris to New York. I can't smell any similarity whatsoever to that of the original Vibrant Leather. I can't remember. Let me just go and get another Vibrant Leather for you guys. It's to the extent, guys, to the extent, I don't usually break down videos like this, but it's to the extent, guys, where this one is on deck. Even now, you've got, as I say, Mont Blanc coming out with their version. You've got different things going on. Mont Blanc have come out with their version Explorer. I've got even a sample of that one. And when I've smelt that one, guys, it's not the same at all. I think you'd be a lot better off sticking with this version of it, because in effect, even to not go off the subject, but in effect, guys, this one's giving me longevity. Mont Blanc's one didn't necessarily give me longevity when I tried the tester. I think with the Mont Blanc version of that one, guys, it just seems to be like the opening is similar. So this is the new one for those that want to see it. Okay, so the opening is similar. The bottle looks pretty cool. The bottle's pretty nice, but I couldn't see the justification in spending 30, 40 pounds for it, guys, when this is 20 pounds. It's a solid release, and it's still there. All these other versions that they're coming out with are just not correct. Whoever helped them to do this particular version, in my opinion, got it right. For me, this is more relevant now than Aventus, because Aventus is too expensive for what it is, and Aventus are coming out with now Aventus Cologne, which again, I don't know what that means, but obviously with the House of Aventus is not going to do it for the sake of doing it. Hopefully, I mean, again, it's saying it's supposed to be slightly fresher. I know Jeremy Fragrance has done a quick interview with the boys from Creed, and obviously I think the heir to Creed, whoever it may be. Okay. Let's see what comes from it, guys. The Cologne version is not necessarily out, but when you're going to say you're going to do a Cologne, Zara, what's going on? You're doing a cologne, you're doing a review, sorry, a review of an original fragrance, not original fragrance, but you're doing your version of the fragrance, so you're saying we're going to do cologne, which I think should be like, it's a flanker, it's a variation to the original version, and to me, I can't see any similarity. And equally, guys, as I say, this, for me, is okay. It's not necessarily the best fragrance, but it's one that will give you, I've had compliments when I've worn this version, and I've actually worn this to the office, and again, it's lasted me maybe about 3 hours. Now with the sunshine here, hopefully it'll give me a little bit longer time. It does smell a little bit like Jean Paul Le Mal, but at the same time, Ultra Mal, sorry, but at the same time, it's not necessarily as sweet, it's not as heavy as that. And I quite like this fragrance actually. It's not a bad one. It does give me a bit of an alcoholic opening, but again that dries down pretty quickly and we get more of like a syrupy type of smell, which is slightly gourmand in nature. Now the other two that they've just brought out, as I say guys, waste of time. It seems to me somebody's just decided, let's just get something out for summer, let's try and make as much money as we can, for people just picking them up without really thinking about it. Get home, can't smell anything, waste of time. You put it to the back of the closet, you put it to the back of your desk, put it back to your table, whatever it may be. That's the end of it. You don't see that again, and they made the money from you guys. So they're my thoughts on that. This video is going over longer than I wanted to go to, but nonetheless guys, waste of time. I personally won't be spending money on For Him Sport, nor will I be spending my money on For Him Blue Sport, because I don't see the relevance of them. It's pure alcohol. You don't smell anything from the original fragrance. And I think whoever's in the perfumery department now, please somebody enlighten me as to what's going on behind the scenes. You're ruining it for something that you've already been establishing for such a period of time. You got onto some bangers and since then it's just been non-stop bullshit, guys. So please let me know your thoughts, Martin Martinez. Para la gente que habla español, voy a intentar poner algo y subir cualquier cosa en español de vez en cuando. No es posible para hacerlo todo y cada vez que voy a subir un video, pero voy a intentar hacerlo. Perdón, estoy cansado ahora mismo, pero dame tiempo y lo haré. Okay, guys, thank you very much. See you soon, Martin Martinez. Ciao.